CA News. Today we'll be discussing capital punishment. First, we're going to give you a little bit of historical background. The death penalty was first established in 18th century BC with the creation of Hammurabi's Code. It was later established in Britain, which was a large influence on the use of it in America, as we were their colony. Laws regarding capital punishment varied from colony to colony, but the first official recorded execution was in 1630 in the Massachusetts Bay Colony. And this was in a public setting, so the whole town came to watch. As it progressed, people began to oppose it and saw it as inhumane, and movements against the use of capital punishment arose. In the 19th century, the abolitionist movement began, and it gained lots of support and awareness about capital punishment. They later proposed that the death penalty only be utilized for crimes such as murder and treason, opposed to being the solution to all types of crimes. For example, you could get the death penalty for stealing grapes from your local farmer's market. In 1834, executions stopped being held publicly and were transformed to a more private thing. And then in 1846, Michigan was the first state to outlaw the death penalty for all crimes except treason. Later in that year, Wisconsin and Rhode Island outlawed it altogether. The introduction of poisonous gas as a use of capital punishment in the 1920s resurged the use of this method. In the 1960s, the Supreme Court began to fine-tune the use of the death penalty through Supreme Court cases such as Furman versus Georgia. In these cases, it was argued that the death penalty was cruel and unusual punishment and should not be used. Since this, 19 states have now outlawed the death penalty. Thank you. Now, off to Courtney.
Thank you, Missy. Hello, I'm Courtney Dixon, and you may be wondering, why are we discussing this problem right now? Well, I'm going to tell you why we're discussing it. It is so relevant in our generation because it affects us directly through taxes, and it is something that is very controversial in our society. You may be wondering, what are the problems surrounding this issue? Well, many people are pro-death penalty because it provides real justice for the crime that the person has committed, and it's the only way to move past it. Other people say that it costs too much money to put on, and it also does not help anyone, and it is barbaric to kill someone who was already killed, and it doesn't really solve anything. Also, it is relevant in our society because there are 31 states that still practice the death penalty, and many our states are deciding if we should keep the death penalty or not. So we're going to give you our take.
Hello, and thank you, Courtney, for that insightful introduction, but I'm here to tell you why the death penalty should be outlawed. There are three main reasons. One, because it benefits us as taxpayers. Two, because it will benefit the criminal justice program in America. And three, because it benefits the spending of our government. Why would it benefit us as taxpayers in America? Because currently our money is going in to fund these cases that are seeking out the death penalty, which is proven to be much more expensive than one seeking out a life in prison. We already fund the upkeeping and building of these jails, and we might as well use our money to keep putting people in them. Second, why would it benefit the criminal justice program? Because it is already proven that there are suicide rates up very high in prison, showing that the conditions in these cells are not ideal. Many people think that the death penalty is the only just punishment for these people that have committed murder or treason, but we believe that it is already punishment enough to put somebody, in these prisons. Three, why does it benefit our government spending? Because we already like I said, pay to keep up these prisons, and we might as well relocate the money away from putting them in the death penalty. We might as well use this money to benefit a greater population of Americans, like our education system. There are many students in the education system that don't benefit enough from these programs because there's simply not enough money. What we need to do is relocate the money away from killing people and putting them into education for all. Now, we're off to Krause Springs with Lorelei to learn about her family farm and where her brother was brutally murdered. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm out here in Krause Springs today, and it is hot, 99 degrees, the sun is shining, but I'm here today to talk to Miss Lorelei about her brutally murdered brother. She asked me to bring my own watering can so I could help her garden her plants while we talked. Lorelai,
Hello.
please tell me about this incident with your brother.
Well, about a year ago in that shed over yonder, my brother was brutally murdered by this here spade.
Oh my goodness.
It was very bad. It was a serial killer. It was just devastating.
So, Lorelai, what do you think about the death penalty? Is it just?
Hell yeah, it is. I think all murderers should definitely go die.
Can you please give me some real evidence for that claim?
Well, it gives victims' families and victims themselves kind of a sense of peace to know that that murderer will not come out anytime due to like a reduced sentence or like parole. They could escape. I mean, I heard there was this one case where in Fresno where this murderer waited 36 years to ask for, and then he asked for clemency, and then he got out. So I just don't want that to happen.
Okay, well, Lorelai, before we go, can you please tell me what type of grass you got planted here?
This is just wild grass.
Oh, it's very pretty. Lorelai, I'm going to take your claim back to the station and we'll let the real citizens of America decide. Is the death penalty just? You answer the poll on lcca.com.
Okay. This needs to be addressed promptly because it's a huge question of ethics in the government and needs to help repair this government-citizen relationship. It also needs to be addressed because it affects many Americans' lives and their families.
Currently, the government is doing it all wrong trying to attack this problem. We need to attack this on a local level instead of trying to change it on a federal level because nothing happens on this federal level in the United States of America.
What can you do as a citizen, you ask? Go out in your local government and advocate for what you believe in to get this outlawed.